Time is now. Let's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut, rap. Back to the rhymes. Now is the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now is the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Oh, that was too long. Shoot, I lost focus. I'm trying to look what time it is. This isn't ideal, but we're going to push on through. Let's talk about what's going on. Here's my stuff. All right, first, got a new screen for my route, so I thought I could implement the prop to give me some more flexibility as to where to position this event, this show. So I'm happy about this. Off to the side, it's not perfect, but it's if I stretch it out any further, it'll fall, and I'm not doing any more moves this late at night. So number one is the YouTube channel. I had a conversation with someone on my route he has a background as a camera person. He's doing stuff for a company now, agricultural, industrial, meters, something, but making videos, training videos to show the new, the buyer or potential buyer, how they'd install it, or probably the buyer, the customer, end user, and just showing, it's not too exciting, but it's very necessary for the new purchaser how to get the thing working. But anyway, he was talking about what people on YouTube use, and he talked about it's called a Rebel camera or Rebel 2 camera, and he thought a new one goes for about $300, but hopefully if it's used, hopefully I could find one for something in the neighborhood of half that. Not high on the list, but way more, closer to that's the best advice I've received thus far for visual for this. And it's not so expensive, I can't think about it. And he was talking about the kind of lens, 20 millimeter lens. If you're close enough and you're not moving, it's perfect. And it makes the background disappear and puts the focus on the subject. So that's on the list. And I noticed I never paid it any attention, but up here on Lake City, there's a camera shop with used cameras. There's Kenmore cameras, I guess. Gosh, there's Ken's too, but Kenmore cameras, but they got a lot of new stuff. But I like this thing on Lake City. It's like a hole in the wall kind of place. So, maybe it's on the list, but I just wanted to share it because everything else I've heard, it's fine. But if this is if that's the industry standard, and I trust his judgment based on what he shared with me is his background, I would want to go that direction for the final destination for how I want this to look. And realistically, this probably looks better than it normally does look. Lighting wise and background doesn't look too bad from what I can tell. So that's one. No other updates on that. Brian, we didn't connect that on my week off last week, and it's just he got a pretty flexible schedule, so he just didn't answer his phone. But we're still working out the Tarps and Tents tour event. And I think I'm gonna have another week off in June, so I think we can revisit that and see if we can do a real informal something in June. Trump's gonna thump video. I guess I should have got an update on the views. It's got a couple more. I forgot to look at No Hope 2 to see, but it's coming along. No progress there. since I have this physical copy, at least whenever I talk about a bit of bread, I can show it. So we got a bed of bread right there. The plan is to go to my mom's on Sundays, but I will get to it a little bit later, but I did not do that this Sunday. It was not an option. I think I might be going to church next Sunday, and then we'll see what that does to my schedule. If that's a good location for the family, even to be at a physical location. And the thing about you go to a church setting like that, new church, anything's possible. Who you meet, especially, I mean, and as I go down the list, I'm just very interested to see what happens. Um, who, because you look at the way these things happen, where we are right now, if we want to go to an in-person service, we need to either, like I'm saying, like we need to live like we're in China. If you want to breathe and have some freedom, then I guess you got to go out a little bit from what I've found. So God, so that's just the direction that I see God taking us. But we'll see. It is a bit of a ways. And then, but again, it's amazing whenever you're in a situation like that and you can make connections. And that leads to any number of possibilities. So, number 4, rules of engagement, no update there. You will be glorified. Again, let's just see what happens. I need to get with Yumi for an update. I did find out she's not doing in-person piano lessons, so I would say progress with that song is probably not going to happen for sure if she's not doing piano lessons in person with her. But I have other worship songs in mind, a couple in particular that if I found somebody who wanted to pursue that, I could work on that, pretty much right away. If there was someone else who had a similar passion for it. They'll be ballers, so that's why it's so late. So yeah, just working on personal development. I call it continuing education, investing in myself. Same with my wife, daughter too. It's a family endeavor, and it's great. But what I did is I tried to work my job and then watch get the information later in the evening, and it's just, look what time it is. This is just not good. Too negative. I mean, you want it to be positive, and it ends up being a negative. So I don't want to be a burden at work, but I can't have this stress associated with what is our future. So I'm gonna have to take the day off next time. And it's not bad to experience that. You just have to know what your options are. My Reformation music video, we're waiting on that. And then and now music, we're waiting. School Us album sales right here. Can't forget about this. Of course, Goodyear Productions. I want to thank Andrew on the route. Hope he's enjoying Yellowstone, him and his family, or at least his wife. So he purchased it long ago. It just wasn't clear on our arrangement, but I was able to fulfill his order this week. So I think we're all good. And he said that was music for the road trip, and I hope it's something that adds to the road trip. So that's the update. I don't really have much else for current events. It'll probably come out in some of the music that I'm writing. I'm going to finish this song today and then get on to the next song. Yeah, I've been working on what, just mixing it. But I like I said, I don't know I haven't heard any news. Rush passed away. I stopped listening to the show. I haven't listened to anybody else. I haven't heard. I used to get hourly news updates. I haven't heard them. So, and I'm all the better for it because I don't need necessarily to hear it, and it hasn't really done anything one way or the other. I don't get as angry. I know that, so that's good. Um, J. Vernon McGee's doing he does a through the Bible, and he just started it up. I missed Fridays because of my schedule. I was a little behind, but many days I could probably catch it. He just started, so I might listen to that. It helped me get my mind right, and that's just the legend, as I'm hearing from so many people. He's passed on, but his show and his voice and his everything lives on. Okay. So let's go through the song. I'll finish this song, and like I said, I'll get on to the next. Good thing I'm sitting where I am because I didn't bring enough paper to do too much. It's the signs, don't you know it's the signs? All it does is bring me sighs and ask a lot of why oh whys. I look at this crude attempt at substantive change time is spent. Change it up here, Mike. I light my load. You're the enlightened one. You got to pick up the slack for the frightened one. It's you who know what to do. To the rescue. Save the likes of me from me and my destiny of existing in the dark. You with the warmth, you with the heart. It's not signs a la carte, it's signs de jour. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. It's not about lifting others, it's about picking colors. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. It's not so much what I do, but it's what my signs say. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. What's it to you? It's about what I say. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. Shout out to Black Lives Matter VIP, Margaret, 100 years strong, singer. Can't forget about Black Lives Matter VIP, Lyndon, get them to switch, Johnson. Black lives? Where the black lives? I don't see them. I just see the signs. In the place of lies, we can just have the signs. Get back to that changed up delivery. I light my load, you the enlightened one. You got to pick up the slack for the frightened one. It's you who know what to do. To the rescue. Save the likes of me from my destiny of existing in the dark. You with the woman. You with the heart. Ain't thinking about the struggle. It's cause celeb. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. So let's do that. So I'm close to done, as you can see. I do have to think here, though, what to write. Think about the struggle. It's cause celeb. It's interesting. I might kind of want to rhyme with that. Ain't building the youth. I got two things I could say here. Just seen it on the tube or seen it on the web. Web rhymes with celeb. Tube rhymes with youth, more or less. Ain't building the youth, just you on the web. I mean, what I'm saying in the song isn't exactly hostile towards the concept at all, actually. I mean, it's hostile towards lip service. I mean, my thought's been forever is to rally around the Black community. Absolutely. I mean, as Americans, because, it's kind of like my thought's always been, how is it that, generation after generation, you see a particular segment of our population struggling? So, and of course, people who have the mindset of government's the solution when government's the problem, they don't know really a pathway. And, my mindset is developing people, um, mentoring, things like that. I should mention this. John Maxwell. So Bellevue Ballers, every year we get John Maxwell to come speak, and he's the #1 leadership author in the world. And he's got, I guess, one of his organizations. It's called Equip, and he's been getting materials to these prisons and whatnot, and they got zero recidivism. Recidivism, how do you say that? 0%, where it's normally 85%. So, I would love to compare that against anything. Obviously, you can't do better than 0%. And that's for the inmates who choose to follow his teaching while they're incarcerated. So I don't know. You'd have to do a little research, but he mentioned Guatemala, Paraguay, and Costa Rica. I think 100% of those countries are getting that material into their prisons. I heard New York City's doing something for their schools with, I mean, this is the kind of stuff you want to hear. This is real results, and it's, that's so much better than a sign. Didn't need a sign, and like I said, he's speaking from a position of authority in terms of his life's work is building leaders and getting people into positions. And he did discuss today, finding your gifts, the gifts that God's given you, and being able to maximize that. I mean, as a believer, you talk about the body of Christ, and not everyone is the head, right? Everyone has a different part to play, and finding that role and really just doing your part. But that's his gift. But what I'm saying, I would like to share that is because that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about. That's building. That's success. That's happening now. That's happening right now. And so, and I just found out about today. So I like that, maybe, research it more. I mean, like I said, my next song, I probably better think about that. My next song can be along those more positive lines anyway, in terms of building. Okay. Truth's the truth. This light I shed. Matter. Signs. Matter. I can't forget. I don't know if I talked about it last week. I've had more than one person bring up that, of course, it comes in alternative media, would never come in the mainstream media, that I guess one of the founders of Black Lives Matter is acquiring some properties and doing pretty well for herself. See, that's the thing when it comes to a nonprofit. How does that even work? Everyone's different. If you want to give money, just might be paying attention to that. I don't know. It's not. I'm not surprised by any of it, but it's like it was also brought up. Yeah, it's a whatever $1.4 million house, but you don't get much of a house for 1.4 million in LA. So I guess it depends where you live. But whatever. It's just people bring that up. They pay attention to it. If you're a detractor, I'm not too hung up on it. I'm not surprised by it at all. So maybe that's why I'm not hung up on it. But anyway, the truth's the truth. This light I shed. Interesting. I'll kind of end it this way. I see your signs and shape my head. Black lives matter. Signs matter. And all I'm saying here is, I get, okay, and I heard my news provider says, yeah, it turns out this officer he's done this countless times. There's countless videos of him. Really? Are you sure? I mean, it's so hard to believe anything. But if this is really the case, yes, of course. But I always look at first of all, they talk about doing things nationally. You take, first of all, just like this prison population, and turning the prisoners around. How about the similar situation in a neighborhood? Turn the residents of a neighborhood around. If there's issues with officers, turning them around. But it's not, you don't have, it's like Rush always talk about, what do they call it? It's like even Obama was a president, but nothing was under he had no say. What do you, I can't remember his phrase for it, but it's like somehow you're going to be in charge, but you don't have any effect of change. You're the leader, and it's just, all the people complaining are living in these cities, and I'm living in one of the cities. So the people who are complaining live in the city. They elect the people. They're all from the same political party, and they act like they got to come up with some new thing and it's something that's been going on forever and ever and ever. And it's just like, really? It's laughable. I mean, what's really going on? How could this be? You're all from the same political party. You run the whole city. How could this be a problem? That's my question. And then the solution is to burn down your own city? That I can't understand. So, it's like I said, the whole thing is, I'm just kind of trying, all I'm saying is, it's just talk, It's just talk. As a matter of fact, you think about some of these really bad neighborhoods, a lot harder than being an officer in a nice little town or in the suburbs. And I don't think the officers in those very bad neighborhoods necessarily they don't make 10 times the income, 5 times the income. I think it might be an entry level job and you're just trying to get your way out. Or maybe you'll be just maybe not the best, but they gotta have someone doing the job. So I mean, it's really not a very good job, I would think, you know, to be in some of these environments. Very tough. So, okay. So, and the final is, all right. Gotta say what's up to Black Lives Matter. VIP. Hillary. Super Predator. Clinton. And last but not least, Black Lives Matter. VIP. Joe Clean, Articulate, Biden. Now, those phrases, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might need to do your own research. I know exactly what I'm talking about. People try to do damage control. They try not to talk about it. You know, it's time to run in South Carolina, and we're not going to even talk about it. We're just going to, you know, get you to look the other way. I mean, but they know they don't have any good options as a voter. So you're just going to pick Joe Clean, Articulate Biden because you only have one party you're allowed to vote for. Isn't that sad? I'd hate to be in a situation where I was only allowed to vote for one party. So let's do this song. It's the signs. Don't you know it's the signs? All it does is bring me sighs and a lot of why oh whys. I look at this crude attempt, substantive change, time is spent. Change it up here, Micah. I lighten my load. You didn't lighten one. You got to pick up the slack for the frightened one. It's you who know what to do. To the rescue. Save the likes of me for me and my destiny of existing in the dark. You with the warmth. You with the heart. It's not signs I look hard. It's signs du jour. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. It's not about lifting others, it's about picking colors. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. It's not so much what I do, it's what my signs say. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. What's it to you? It's about what I say. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. Shout out to Black Lives Matter VIP, Margaret, 100 years strong singer. Can't forget about Black Lives Matter VIP, Lyndon. I'll get them to switch. Johnson. Black lives. Where the black lives? I don't see them. I just see the signs. In the place of lies, we just have the sign. Get back to the change the delivery. Light my load, you're the enlightened one. You got to pick up the slack for the frightened one. It's you who know what to do. To the rescue. Save the likes of me from my destiny. Me and my destiny of existing in the dark. You with the warmth. You with the heart. Ain't think about the struggle. It's cause celeb. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. Ain't building the you on the web. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. The truth's the truth. This light I shed. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. I see your signs and I shake my head. Black Lives Matter, signs matter. Got to say what's up to Black Lives Matter VIP, Hillary, Super Predator, Clinton. Last but not least, Black Lives Matter VIP, Joe Clean, Articulate, Biden. And that's all I got. I'll finish the song and I'll think about what I want to do next week. I have time to reflect. And until then, when we get back to the rhyme, I'll see ya.